Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will cover March 22nd to the 28th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend that these readings be timeless. So the 22nd to the 28th, the 2s and the 8s are beautiful numbers and bookends for this week. The two energy means have faith, everything is going to be okay. Typically, 2s pop in your life when you're having worries, fears, or doubts. So be on the lookout for the 2s this week, as it's the universe, the divine, reminding you to keep the faith, stay focused, and stay the course. Many of you have started projects, you've made big leaps of faith, and the universe is just reminding you that in order for us to move forward, things need to be cleared out. The 8 and the 28th, the 8 is always an infinity number. It's a prosperity number. It's abundance number. And so understand that that's always our birthright as we're clearing out a lot of lower vibrational energies on the planet. Remember, they're not good or bad, right or wrong. It's always part of the ending and rebirth process. So right before I started, I kept hearing David Bowie's song, Changes, and specifically, I kept seeing the words turn and face the strange. Changes. So I just kept hearing that over my head. I'm like, what does that mean? And so a lot of us right now, we're being asked to face the strange, the weird, the uncomfortable, the challenges, the adversity. We're needing to look at what's out of balance so that we can be fully aware of the work and the energy that we put towards our own life purpose as we move forward. I feel like April, there's going to be, so when I think about April, because we're in the last full week of March, when I think about April, I see kind of like a golden egg, and I see I don't want to describe it. It's kind of like the image of like a nail, but it's thicker, and it's almost like a mallet that's kind of tapping the egg, the golden egg, and cracking open the good stuff, the nourishing stuff inside. And I feel like that's what's happening with Mother Earth. There's a lot that's being cracked open right now. And so Earth Angels, I feel like you're being guided to observe and not necessarily run away from. Pretend that COVID-19 isn't don't pretend COVID-19 isn't happening. And typically, when energies get intense for Earth Angels, we want to run away, we want to ignore, we want to procrastinate. And now more than ever, if you can think of it from this perspective, God needs us to be on the lookout and vigilant, because energetically we report to the divine, right? Earth Angels were born into this planet to be the messengers of the planet, right? So it goes both ways. So we're receiving downloads and insight and information from the divine, but through our human experience, the divine is also receiving information from us. And so if there's a mass disruption on the planet and Earth Angels are awakening, they're going to feel that, and the light can come in and shift things. So this week, I'm seeing a call for prayer, meditation, stay informed with how to keep yourself safe and your family, but also too, I just feel like, it's a real thing, and there's more than meets the eye. That's what I'm saying. There's more that's happening behind the scenes than just what we're seeing on the surface. So people can who are still in the sleeper world, can be quick to make judgments and spread information all over. And I just feel like the divine is saying for this week, observe, pray, meditate, go within, observe, pull back, take it all in. But we kind of have to face face what's happening, but not take it at face value. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure more will come out as I go. Rise above. And just observe. Be in the place of observation. Observe people. Really try without judgment. They're asking you to experience humans and the human experience. Mother Nature, as we know, is clearing out. And there are a lot of parts in the world where they're talking about Mother Nature coming alive, like water, because of all the pollution. Water is being cleared out with all the businesses and the industries shutting down. I feel like Mother Earth is flourishing. Of course, this is springtime and the birthing of the new. And, I was starting to say earlier, I with the egg, the cracking of the golden egg, I think April is going to crack things open for a lot of people. So it's important for us to stay the course. Remember our goals, our plans, and all the energy that's led up to this moment that we're in right now in 2020. Because of the energy I was feeling, I picked an eclectic group of cards this week. So I'm going to start with Keepers of the Light. I mean, really, all we keep hearing about is expand the light, be in the light, raise the vibration with the light. So I'm going to see what the light actually has to say. So I'm going to pull from here. I'm going to expand on whoever comes forward with Sufi wisdom. And then I'm very curious to tap into the animal kingdom and what their message is for earth angels, or what their medicine is. We'll get additional messages from Nature's Whispers. And then we'll finish up with a Moonology card. It's like an action from Moonology as we're coming into a brand new astrological year. The moon is going into Aries. The full moon is in a couple days. So it's new moon in Aries. I think we're going to the new moon. So it's bringing on new energy. It's a brand new the sun is going into Aries. I believe the new moon is Aries, and we're going into a brand new astrological year. So there are major things happening. That's why I say there's so much more happening behind the scenes. And so I just feel like one of the messages is try not to jump to conclusions. Try not to get sucked in. Sometimes we have to rise above to see the forest amongst the trees and not get lost amongst the trees. So that all being said, let me open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance for the collective this week. Oh, I just got a little dizzy. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. Oh boy, I definitely felt the energy shift. So let's see. Okay, this is going to get, I feel like it's very grounding and serious. All right. So Keepers of the Light. What message do you have for the collective this week? March 22nd, the 28th, 2020. All right. Wow. Diana, focused intention. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Stay the course. Remember what you're here for. I feel like a lot of earth angels may emotionally feel like you're on a boat in turbulent water. Some of you might be getting motion sick. I feel like it's very normal for you to feel the fear and anxiety and the angst come up. The entire planet is experiencing a drastic change. So I want to speak to that part like it's normal. And as you pull back and recognize it and breathe through it, you're getting more clarity on your body. And so I feel like Diana's coming out to remind you to keep your eye on the prize, like what your mission is here on this planet. So think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And I think it's very significant that Diana, a keeper of the light, the feminine energy came forth, the feminine warrior goddess energy. As feminine energy is changing the way we do things on this planet. I've been talking in other videos how feminine energy is creator energy, and really the new ways of making money is to access that depth of creativity within and our sacral chakra, that's that orange chakra, into our solar plexus. It goes through our heart, up through our throat, and then out, right? Communicating. So we have to remember that we're here on this planet to be creators, right? And there's systems that are being broken down right now that were at capacity and were no longer working. So it's almost like the universe is like, time out, wait a minute, hold up, let's regroup. So when I was younger, when I was in 5th and 6th grade, I loved to play kickball. And I remember playing with a bunch of friends in the street. And what's coming up for me is that when a car would come, somebody would yell, car, somebody would pick up the ball, we'd move to the side. And then when the car moved past us, we would go back. So the car was always like an idea of like a timeout. And you just stop what you're doing, get out of the way, because obviously being in the road with a car coming is dangerous. So I feel like that's what's happening with the universe. They're like, hold up, time out, reset, and you're just going to go back to doing what you were doing. So I feel like that's why she's saying, like, try not to get off course. Try not to get so consumed that you forget all the work that you've done up until this point. This is like the final exam. The practice what you preach, the continuing to show up for humanity. I mean, there's so many people doing lives and sound healings and card readings, and all these things are awakening on this planet, which is a beautiful thing, right? And so, in a way, they're staying the course. They're using their gift of expression and their creativity to find new ways to put classes out there and keep people connected and take care of themselves. It's very feminine, and it's a really beautiful thing to observe and watch. So Diana's reminding you to stay focused intention. Pay attention to how you're feeling, and then knowing that you have the power to shift. I certainly personally am going through waves. I made some commitments right before this exploded, and I'm staying the course. Everything was divinely guided and happened perfectly, and things are still unfolding naturally and in divine and perfect order, and I'm just continuing to go with it. And so it's very easy for me to get that into that tug of war and financial commitments and what am I doing? And there's another part of me that said, girl, like, this is it. Like, people have made commitments and making changes, and we're restoring balance on the planet. So Diana's additional message. Of course, I'm looking at this saying here, joy to the world. That's creative energy. New systems are going to be put in place. It's going to be the birthing of a new planet. It's an election year. So a lot of times big things happen around election years when there's a change in power. And so, like I said, there's more than meets the eye. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. So the universe is reminding you, and the divine is reminding you to stay dialed in. All right, so Diana, what additional message do you have for the collective? And I have to say, channeling has been a little more challenging. The energy is fragmented, and I had to start this recording a couple times, really, because I was stumbling over my words and really had to ground my energy. So this is why we want to be clear instead of reacting to things. We want to pull back, observe, and then act, creating a step-by-step process to achieve our goals, to implement things. Because like I said, there's information that's just slinging around everywhere. And this is a really creative time for the planet, for the earth angels. This is a time for you to take that time out and go within, and you have an option. It's not right or wrong. You can, watch TV and binge watch on Netflix, or you can pull back and get those things that you've been needing to done. The universe and the divine isn't going to say you're good or bad, right or wrong. You have a choice, right? And so earth angels now are continuing to show up and create and reinvent themselves, utilizing the programs and the information that's out there in order to expand in different ways. So, oh my gosh, return to joy. Yep, joy to the world, return to joy. We're here to experience joy. And I can tell you, like right before COVID-19 expanded, how many babies were born and how many pregnancies are there and how many people were opening up businesses and taking that leap of faith. I'm saying more than ever, stay the course. That stuff didn't happen for no reason. I say life can be bittersweet in a lot of ways, really good in some ways, in some areas, and really challenging in others. And that's kind of like the polar energy that's pulling. So what's happening right now in your life is the universe is showing you what still needs, what parts of your foundation still need to be reinforced. Maybe it's money, maybe it's support, maybe it's taking action, getting things done. Maybe it's doing research on things. So where you're feeling squeezed right now and anxious is what needs the attention. And I feel like that's what I was getting, like face the strange instead of running away from it, ignoring it. I'll tell you, friends, it's so easy to just escape into TV and social media, but in the long run, it really doesn't benefit us. So, after you've done some creative work and you've really put energy towards and you're feeling good, like you've got stuff moving, then go to those things, right? But it's really easy to get sucked in and escape. And that's a challenge that Earth angels have: procrastination, putting things off. And it's no coincidence that this virus is affecting the respiratory system, like lungs, which is in connection with the heart, right? It's all connected to self-esteem. So emotionally, the lungs are connected to self-esteem, worth, value, speaking your truth. It's stepping into the positive aspects of the lungs as spiritual pride, identity. This is who I am. So it's really activating this energy within people. Or, like I said, it's putting people on that emotional roller coaster. And so your self-esteem, your worth, your value, your trust in the divine is being tested right now. It's the shadow and light. It's that yin and yang and polar energy right now. So it's being squeezed. And so I feel like this is rising above, if you're feeling like you've been lost amongst the trees and you don't know where you're going. I feel like this is a message for you to rise above it and saying, remember, you're an activator on this planet. You're a creator. Nobody's going to be able to tell you, right? Nobody's going to be able to tell you what you should be doing. You already know that within. And I mean, a lot of the work that I do is I just reinforce the beautiful things that people already know about themselves. And that's where the empowerment comes in. That's why my tagline is empowering you to say yes to life. I through my own intuition and reading your energy, shine a light on and water those seeds that are already there, right? And then we come up with a plan and then a process and a step-by-step experience for you to achieve those goals. And I think that's my most favorite part of my work. And then, of course, connecting people with loved ones, especially in this place that we're in right now. There's a lot of purging. There's a lot of souls that are opting out on this planet. And so we have to remember that there's a lot of energy slinging right now. And so rising above it all, this is what we're getting back to, returning to joy, right? The material world is being broken down. People are having to choose what's important and what's not important, right? People are being guided to trim the fat and the excess and get back to basics, right? And in turn, it expands more joy, like simplicity, right? That's why I say we're going to see a lot of different experiences come out of this. Just give it some time, give it a couple weeks, really be informed, but step back and remember that you're a light being on this planet and you're here to shine light and joy to the people around you. All right, so animal medicine. What? Archangel animals. What animal wants to come forward this week, March 22nd to the 28th? Bee. Oh my God. There's the word joy again. Oh boy. Spread heart healing with joy. Wow. Look at this, friends. Orange, sacral chakra. I'll tell you, I mean, you can't. I couldn't pick better cards myself. So, joy to the world. Return to joy. Spread heart healing with joy. This is your mission. And it's not to do it for other people. It's not to do it for other people. It's to do it for yourself. And in turn, that energy radiates out. So you have to feel and experience the joy within. And again, sacral chakra. It was interesting because I was going to pull another deck and I didn't. It was the chakra wisdom cards, and I chose not to because I'm going to do a pick a card reading later on this week, and I'm going to connect with the Earth, Mother Earth, and her messages. So I decided I was going to use the chakra cards then, but I was thinking it's important to know what's going on in the physical body and what we need to know. And so I just keep seeing the energy of the chakra energy, which is our gut. And so now more than ever, making sure that you're maintaining nutritious foods, right? You're being called to action to maintain your physical vehicle and your physical needs. You know, there's a lot of talk about drinking your water, hot beverages, getting tea in, extra rest. Like I said, there's a lot of talk about this new earth, and this new earth vibration has been going on for a very long time. So it's not something that's just happening overnight. I mean, it really started with Oprah and her doing Eckhart Tolle's, I believe Eckhart Tolle's The New Earth, and doing work with him. God, how many years ago now? 10, 15 years ago? And so this isn't anything new, but it's an experience that it's like, okay, we've been working towards this, we've been in training, we've been having experiences, and now we're in it. Now it's time. Again, I keep seeing the God stormtroopers, and it's almost like that Star Wars scene where the ship like opens up from the back and like all the light beings start walking out. But it's not to tell people what they should be doing. It's not to fight anybody. It's to be the presence, to be the example. Joy is the end game. It's finding the joy within. And again, if you're having a hard time with that experience and what that means, one of the prayers that I've been saying personally for a long time is the joy of the Lord is my strength. And, I've mentioned in other videos that I'm going through a transition myself. I'm going through a move. And, there's a part of me that says, I finally find something that I love and I'm going to be able to do so many amazing things. And then this happened. So personally, I can tell you that I had fallen into the victim mode. And I recognize it, and I'm like, oh, this is so yucky. I've worked too hard to get to this point and to backpedal. And so I recognized it. I appreciated those parts of me that were bringing up the fear, and I had to change my course with my plan of action. I mean, there was money I was spending clearly that I had to pull back from. I said, hey, you know what? Right now I have all that I need. And I've committed to continuing to enjoy the experience regardless of the disruption that's happening around me, right? So I'm navigating in a different space, but it feels good. And again, when it's time for me to take action, I do. When it's time for me to rest, I do. So I want to pull out the book energy here. And for those of you who are new to the channel, I am a reader that shares personal experiences. I'm a teacher, spiritual teacher, an intuitive spiritual advisor. I do a lot of mentorship, work with people who want to expand their own intuition and want support in embarking on their own spiritual journey. So I do share experiences of what's going on in my life. I think it's important to know that, I'm not above it all and that we're all in this together. So I wanted to kind of share that's an aspect that I come from. And a lot of times people say it's helpful. It's helpful to know that other people are having that experience or learn from people who have gone through it and are on the other side. So B energy. Let's see here. B. Interesting. So bees are fifth dimensional insects who came from the Pleiades the wondrous planet of heart healing. So beautiful. So some of you star seeds out there, if you connect with the planetary, the Pleiades energy, the vibration, now would be a wonderful time for you to tune in. If there are those of you out there who do astral traveling and things like that, there's insight and knowledge and wisdoms in that vibrations. If you've come from that energy or you travel there energetically often, going to that space for heart healing, right? We're getting back to taking care of Mother Earth and taking care of God's people. So bees' service work is to be pollinators for Earth. So they are instrumental in the survival of our planet. They travel enormous distances to collect nectar to make honey. And whenever they go, they happily pour healing into the land, animals and people. Angels use the vibration of their humming sound to communicate love to those in the vicinity. Beehives are built according to sacred geometry, and angels always sing over them to hold the frequencies high. Fairies and other elementals gather around the hives to bathe in this angelic light. Pixies, who are earth elementals, lead bees to flowers to ensure they pollinate as many as they can. Their sole mission is to teach about sacred geometry and to spread Palladian heart healing. And so, obviously, we've crossed over the spring equinox bridge here in the Northern Hemisphere. We're officially in spring. There's the birthing of the new. Obviously, we're going to start seeing bee energy come out as flowers bloom. And so I feel like this is a reminder that new things are going to be birthed from this experience. So those of you who are into animal medicine, connecting with the bee, and really asking the bee energy, how can you spread heart healing to people that are around you? There's a lot of fear with money right now. And, the new vibration is continuing to stay the course, creating based on what you love and not falling into that place of I need to do these things to make more money. If you're doing things to get things, it can throw you off course and it can lower your vibration. But if you focus your intention and stay the course on love and and laughter, I get to still do this work. This is like my life's work. It brings me joy and I'm passionate about it and I'm good at it. So I love being in this energy. And so, there's all this shifting with staying home and social distancing. And, the beauty is, a lot of people have been able to set themselves up for success to be able to work from home and continuing to do what they love. So remind yourself that you're still here you're still here to shine a light on the world, and nothing can take that from you, that there is always a way. There's always a way through something. And just like, bee energy, mother nature, I just feel like she's getting a rest right now. She needs this. She needs to be repollinated. She needs so much of the human pollution and toxicity. Look at the energy of the planet for the last 4 years. It's been hate. It's been anger. It's been judgment. It's been blame. It's been really yucky. It's been fighting, right? It's just really been disruptive. And the laws of science, right? The pendulum swings 45 degrees one way. It's going to swing back the other way. So we're now in the pendulum swing of coming back and things settling back down. And so, the key is for us to find a neutrality point with that pendulum swing in our own personal lives, rather than, like I said, fighting everybody and trying to make change externally. We need to do it internally first. Okay, so let me get some Nature's Whispers message from the bee. What additional message does the bee medicine have for us? Perfect setting. Interesting. See? I just feel like there's this Mother Nature vibration, and she's repainting the skies. This is her canvas. There's no coincidence that she's painting the sun right here, right? The sun is what allows the plant, the sun rays is what nourishes and cherishes the planet, and the warmth is what encourages Mother Earth to grow. And so I feel like right now she's repainting the masculine energy, the warmth. And that's the masculine energy within us. We're changing the ways that we make money and we create money. And like I said, it's a big thing right now with people, obviously. And that's perfectly normal. And so a lot of people are having to face things and make adjustments that they've needed to do for a while now. And so, one of my readings last week, when I talked about, I think it was the weekly reading last week, the last card was about gratitude and blessings. And it was from God. And one of his messages was to look past the illusion of what is and see the blessings, being grateful for the space that you're in and seeing the blessings that are coming out of it. There's always light in the darkness, right? The planet has been through experiences like this for eons. And here it is again. I mean, we haven't experienced, there are a lot of people alive right now who've never experienced something like this. I think the last plague was 124 years ago. And so here we are again experiencing what they did. So those of you who work with ancestors and past lives, you can pull medicine and information and insights from those lives, and I have no doubt that the nurses and healthcare professionals and scientists are all pulling on the information. So there's a lot of energy that's happening right now. So, the 9 here is about completion. And I feel like Mother Nature is saying, but even though things don't look good with our physical eyes and the conscious, she's saying it is a perfect setting. Let me see here. Oops, I dropped the book. Sorry. I want to read the book here. Interesting. So it says, if you have a goal or vision, be sure to provide the right surroundings for that dream to flourish. I'm telling you, here it is again, friends. Positive self-talk, affirmations, being kind to yourself, celebrating your talents and successes. All of these create fertile soil for your dreams to take root and grow. So do you see how I was talking in the beginning, how this COVID-19 is affecting the respiratory system, which is our creativity, it's our worth, it's our value, it's our spiritual pride, it's our self-esteem, it's our confidence, right? And it's starting to attack that energy right now energetically. So as you nourish and take care of yourself. And so if you notice in this book, it talked about positive self-talk. This is about things to do for yourself. It's not talking about what to do for everybody else. It's how you can do this for yourself and how you can nourish your lungs, right? And that throat energy, because I believe it starts in the throat. You get a sore throat and then it goes into the respiratory system. Spiritually, this is your identity. This is your spiritual growth. This is where you speak your truth. And I can tell you, friends, there have a lot of been suppression of that in the world. So positive self-talk, affirmations, being kind to yourself, celebrating your talents and successes, all of these create fertile soil for your dreams to take root and grow. Sometimes when you push too hard, it can hinder the harmonious unfolding of your journey. Trust the process, relax, and allow nature to take its course. Belief and positive support is needed to accomplish your goal. Again, belief and positive support is needed to accomplish your goal. I love how the messages is just being reiterated over and over again in many different ways. Keep in mind, nature makes growing and blossoming look effortless, but the secret is in all the details. Position, sun, soil, air, water, and nourishment. It says make sure you're taking the steps necessary to attain your perfect environment. And so that's what's happening right now. People are on timeout. Hopefully, I pray you're getting the rest that you've needed. You're getting the meditation time you've needed, all those things that you want. Maybe some of you are reading books. Maybe you're getting the time to read and fuel your body with information that you've been needed to get to. Oh, I've been meaning to get to that. I can tell you, snacking and binge watching TV and all that stuff is like, things are going to happen. People are going to start moving and shaking around you. You don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I used that time for blah, blah, blah. And don't discount sleep. Don't discount drinking water. Don't discount going out and getting some fresh air. Those are all those things that if you've been going and you've been maxed out, those are the things that you need right now. So final message from the Moonology deck. All right, tapping into the new moon that's coming up. New moon, because I believe we just had the full moon in Virgo. And so the new moon will be in Aries. Right? Okay. Let me see. What final overall message in this new, I'm trying to just set an intention, in this new astrological year that we're going into, Aries, what's the theme? What do we need to concentrate on? Hold your vision. Fixed moon. Again, focused intention. Hold your vision. So some of you right now, I feel like this message is for you to get clear about that. Maybe you're being ping pong and you're seeing, oh, this works for this person. This works for this person. Okay, and this works for this person. So I'm going to do all this stuff. So I feel like focused intention is like, okay, let's scale it back. Let's pull back and saying, okay, what does your heart want to do? Not what works for somebody else and how they're growing and how they're expanding and, oh, that looks fun. I feel like this message is to pull back, go within. What lights you up? That's your thing. What comes easy for you? That's your thing. Now, I'm not talking about easy, lazy. I'm talking about something that it's like, gosh, like this feels really good and it comes natural to me. You may be really good with numbers and you can help people with that. You may be really good as a teacher and you can start creating things that help people with that. You may be a phenomenal therapist and maybe you're underpaid and now it's a time for you to start evolving and growing into that psycho-spiritual work that you've been meaning to get to, right? Hold your vision on where you see yourself. And again, enjoy, like what brings you joy? What lights you up? If right now, and remember, it's a step-by-step process, we're really having to practice to stay in the moment, which is very feminine. Presence, stay in the moment. The second you get too far ahead, guess what's going to happen? Fear is going to creep in. You're going to feel sick to your stomach and you're going to feel overwhelmed. And it's really just going to rob you of that creative energy. So, and it's a natural thing. It will happen because there's so much that's happening globally right now. And so coming back and saying, okay, God, going back to the divine, show me insight and guidance. And it really comes from you taking pause, right? Taking rest. Let's see. I just feel like I'm guided to look at this moon right now here, and there's shadow and light, and there's equal parts right here. There's equal parts in shadow and light. So not one is better than the other. It's the two of them together that creates harmony. And so we have to see that on the planet. We have to see that within our own lives and then what's going on in the world, that there's a restoration of balance on the planet. And again, it's hard to see it when you're in it. And that's why I feel like Diana is saying, let the divine do their work. Let God handle things that are out of your control. That, being a human and having the human experience isn't for everybody. Not everybody makes it. I mean, as a medium, I see a lot of stuff. I did a group a few weeks ago, and of the group, I think 6 or 7 people had lost loved ones to suicide and overdose or accidental overdose, depression, things like that. So there's a lot that's going on with the human experience right now that you don't see. And that's why God, if you've been following my channel for like the last couple of years, it's been about come back to me, come back to us, bring it back to the heart. And here it is. All of this information is coming out again. But like I said, it's being activated for us to do it, show up to it, experience it. Wow. Let me see if there's anything else. Here I'm looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of moon energy here. sun and moon, representation. This looks like a sun energy. We have the moon energy, the shadow, and the light energy here. We have the goddess painting the sun, the perfect picture. Also, too, remember you get to paint your picture. You have control. Excuse me. Let me cancel that. You have a say and you have free will into how your life unfolds. And so if there are things that are happening right now that are yucky or you're feeling out of alignment with, that's what you have to face right now. Again, turn and face the strange. And again, there are a lot of you who are like, I just don't know what to do. What can I do? If you're not sure, pray about it. Send armies of angels to the world, to the countries that are really struggling right now, and get to work. Get to work and shining your light. Those are the things that you can do instead of. I just feel like this. Sometimes my guides can be forceful. Instead of poking your nose in everybody else's business, bring it back to yourself. What can you be doing? Because I sometimes when you poke your nose in what everybody else is doing, it creates judgment or envy or disruption and disharmony, and it just throws you off course. So how can you stay focused, nourish your body and soul, and speak your truth, activate your identity, your purpose. Again, I'm seeing the throat chakra. Speak your truth. How can you be the inspiration? How can you be the change? How can you be the light? And sometimes it's just that being. Just show up to the world, smile, offer kindness out there. Like I said, stay out of what other people are doing if it's lowering your vibration. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. So let me close space by thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today, especially Diana, the bee energy, for showing up. And I want to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. Okay, beautiful messages. So friends, remember I'm still doing online sessions. If you feel like you need some support, some guidance, my calendar is still open. Let me see. That's all I have to say right now. I have some announcements that are coming in the next week or so. And again, I'm going to still continue to stay the course and implement the stuff that I've created. And that's going to be coming in the next week or two, so look out for that. And I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.